Hello, everybody. It is me, Saltly Beta, aka uh, Dylan. Welcome back to my channel. Uh, this is the place where we talk all things reality TV, all the tea, all the shade, and all the pink lemonade of reality TV. My apologies, y'all. I'm a little off my game right now because I'm fucked up by these damn allergies. These allergies have gotten me together. So it's been a very interesting last couple of days because allegedly the Survivor 50 cast is now out there. Over the last 2 days, there's been allegedly a guy who's allegedly a very well-known person on Survivor Sucks that put together this cast of people, 24 people that are going on season 50. Now, before I start talking about this cast, the reason why I have alleged in my name for this video is because I'm not 100% positive that this really is the cast. The reason being, I know a little bit within the Survivor world, and there's people that are on this list that I'm like, no, someone else is there. And I can't say too much because, bitch, I protect my sources. But I'm just saying there's something a little bit off with this list. However, I think that most of this list is pretty spot on. So we're going to dive on into it. We're going to talk about each of these people. Feel free to join in on the conversation in the live chat below. Let's get this thing started. So the first thing that we need to talk about is 24 people are on this cast. Now, if this is the true cast, I have a couple of theories. Number one, it is all 24 people that are going on this season. And if it is all 24 people going on this season, then this is about to be a jam-packed season. Like, they're literally going to have to vote off someone every single day. It's going to have to be like boom, 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 boom. Unless they're doing a thing where maybe they'll send 2 tribes to tribal council per night. Like, that's the only thing that I can think of. 24 people is a lot for a 26-day game. Australian Survivor does 24 people, and their game is like 50 days. So something to keep in mind is that it is very likely that if all 24 of these people are being flown out, that not all of them will be on the cast, and maybe 2 to 4 of them are going to be alternates for this season. So anyways, I'm going to dive on into this cast list. Never watched Survivor, but I love your voice, so I'm watching. Thank you, Tara Avery. I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Thank you. I am just, I'm really sick right now. So let's start off with this alleged cast, right? So allegedly, this is the cast for season 50. So we've got 24 people. We've got Angelina, Aubry Braco, Coach, Charlie, Chrissy, Christian, Cirie, Colby, Dee, Emily, Genevieve, Jenna, Joe, Jonathan, Camila, Kyle, Mike, Ozzy, Q, Rick, Rizzo, Savannah, Stephenie, and Tiffany. This is a lot. It's a very interesting group of people. I wasn't expecting some of the people on this list, but let's go one by one because this is just a lot right now. All right, so first person, let's talk about Angelina. So Angelina was on David versus Goliath, season 37. She got all the way to the final 3, but didn't receive a single jury vote. Back when I made a tier list of who I think deserves to be on season 50 with my friend Morgan, Angelina was someone I put as a lock. I thought that it was a given that she was going to be on the cast. So it is no surprise that she is here. She was one of the most entertaining personalities of the 30s, as we like to call it, or Advantage Get-In era of Survivor. She's great strategically. She has a lot of personality. She's well known for Jacket Gate. And had she been a little bit more likable, she had a real case to win David versus Goliath. In fact, I really wish that she would have won over the person that ended up winning. I'm very interested to see what Angelina does with this crop of people. I'm curious to see if maybe her game will be a little bit more respected in this new era. Um, Maybe her social game has improved a little bit. Uh, the only person in this cast that she's played with before is Christian. So she's starting off with a relatively clean slate. If any of these people are alternates, she's definitely not an alt. She's definitely a lock. I really want to see her interact with people like Coach, with someone like, oh wait, no, Mike White is on this cast too. I just realized, and her and Mike are really close. Angelina's going to be an interesting one. I don't know how she's going to do in the season itself. She's not the best physically, but one thing I do got to give her kudos for is she was offered a spot on the Traders the very first season, and she turned it down because I think she wanted to come back, and she did get to come back. It's just funny because the two people that did accept the spot on the Traders are here anyway. But Angelina is one of those people I'm very hyped to see. It's going to be a shame if she goes home early. That would be terrible travesty. My only complaint with Angelina being here is that we didn't get Natalie Cole with her to do their jacket gate all over again. Next person. This person I'm a bit surprised is on here, and it's Aubry Braco. She was on Co Wrong, Edge of Extinction, and Game Changers. In Co Wrong, that's probably her best showing. She was instantly a Survivor name because she played a winning game in the fans' eyes and lost at Final Tribal, which was a total surprise. I watched her season live, and I remember when the finale was going on, it was obvious to everyone. It was like, all right, Aubry's going to win this. She has the winner's edit. She's been in control of the game. She has, the story. Like, Aubry is going to win this season. And then out of nowhere, Michelle, she won the final immunity challenge. She took Neil off of the jury. She had a really passionate jury speech that was supported by the other jurors. And Michelle ended up winning the whole game. And, Michelle is a pretty well-respected player now in modern Survivor. But back then, it was like the whole internet would not shut the fuck up about Aubry deserving to win. In my opinion, I don't think Aubry is that good of a player. Hot take, I guess, but I don't see her as that good of a player. In Co Wrong, I felt her best move of the season was getting Ty to not play his idol for Scott and Jason. But I also think that Scott and Jason were just such total assholes that Ty was going to do that regardless. You know what I mean? I really felt that Sydney from that season was the main one that got the ball rolling on all of the men being taken out of the game. Then in Game Changers, Aubry had this huge target on her back the whole season, and she somehow still got to top 5, which was impressive. But there was a lot of missteps made. Like, you had Sandra in the game, who arguably had the biggest target on her back, and Sandra was in control of like every vote she was there for until she got swap screwed. Then Edge of Extinction. Edge of Extinction to me is the reason why Aubry did need to come back again, because Edge of Extinction was embarrassing. That was a humiliating showing for her. The first tribal council she goes to on a swap tribe with a clear majority on her side, she gets taken out. She probably goes home regardless because all of the newbies wanted the returning players gone immediately. But she got caught playing the same game she was playing every time by telling everyone the same shit of, oh, I want to be a dialogue. I want to be a dialogue. Aubry's biggest problem, in my opinion, is that she does not come off as an authentic person. At least she doesn't on the TV. And from the way the game turned out, she doesn't come off that way in the game. So, and she also has a certain fellow that goes by one letter to worry about. If you don't remember, back in season 46, the whole reason that Q went after Mariah was because Mariah said that Aubry was her favorite player. So I'm interested to see how Aubry will do this time now that her target is probably a lot smaller. I mean, going into this group, I mean, looking at this group right now, I wouldn't even say Aubry is in the top 5 biggest names here. Like, top 5 biggest names are probably Cirie. I would say Rick is even a bigger name than her at this point. Who else? Coach D. Like, you got some heavy hitters out here, and Aubry just is not a heavy hitter anymore. So interesting that they chose to use her again. I'm not mad about it. I'm just like a little surprised. Next person, I see a lot of people saying they don't know why he's here. Charlie. Y'all, of course Charlie is gonna be on the cast. Like, what did you guys think was gonna happen? It's just so funny to me that people are like, why is he here? Why is he here? Charlie and Aubry, funnily enough, I feel are very similar, where Charlie was basically running the game. And the way the edit was showing us was that Charlie was going to win this whole thing. He was in charge of all the votes. He had a good story. He was well respected. But then when the votes came, it became very obvious that his social game was not at the same level as Kenzie's. The same way that I felt that Aubry's social game was not at the same level as Michelle's. And ultimately, you could have the best strategy ever. Doesn't mean that you're going to get the votes at the end if your social game is not strong enough. So when I made my list with Morgan, I don't remember if Charlie was a lock, but he was definitely either a lock or like one below that. Charlie deserves to be on this cast. And mind you, I don't even find Charlie to be all that interesting of a player. I thought he was like, not necessarily a game bot, but like, what was he, like Taylor Swift? That was what he was known for loving Taylor Swift. It's like, you know, I'm not gagging over him being there, but I also feel he does deserve a spot on here. Of the new era, people probably had one of the stronger games. The thing for Charlie is going to be working on his likability, working on his threat level, because now people know that he is a threat in this game. And C, letting go of the fact that you lost. I remember when he lost, he went on this whole Twitter spree where he was against Maria, where he was hyping up the fact that he lost and then he didn't think it was right. And it's just like, bro, you lost. And now you kind of look like a sore loser. And I remember similar things going on when Aubry lost. I'm curious to see how he interacts with this group, especially since there's 2 other people from his season on here. I wish him luck. I hope, hope he makes a few bob and does a good job. So let's move on to our next person. There's just so many people on this season, like Jesus Christ. A very well-deserved person that I have been waiting to see back. I'm glad that she said yes. And I wish there was more one-time season 30 players like her on this cast. Chrissy from Healers, Hustlers, and Heroes. Chrissy will probably go down in history as the most robbed player in Survivor history. Why do I say that? Well, in my opinion, I don't think anyone that was voted off by normal means was robbed. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that Charlie was robbed, right? That Charlie was robbed from winning because Charlie did not get the votes. And clearly he did something wrong where he did not get those votes. Same thing goes for Aubry. And I mind you, I wasn't even rooting for either of them to win. But Chrissy, the game that Chrissy and the rest of them thought they were playing was the same game that had been going on for 34 seasons. You play the game, idols expire at Final 5, and then at Final 4, there's no idols to save you. There's no fire making challenge forced to. It should have been clear cut. She beat Ben in that final immunity challenge. He was poised to be voted off. And he should have been voted off. And if he was voted off, then Chrissy wins the game. But out of nowhere, this season, there is no vote at Final 4. We're now making it so you have to go to fire making. And mind you, this was the first season they introduced that shit. And Ben is a firefighter. Obviously, he was gonna fucking win fire making. Is very obvious. So she was screwed. And the reason why that's important is because not even just because they added it in, because there's people that say they added it in last second. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say that it was not added last second and that it was always intended. Well, no one knew that the game was changing. It would be different if it was a twist for that one season, but the game was permanently going to be changed to be fire making. The problem with it is that if they had known this, they probably would have taken Ben out a lot sooner. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, Chrissy is by far the most robbed player in Survivor history because she should have won her season if that bullshit didn't happen. I'm very interested to see what Chrissy's gameplay style is going to be for this game. Chrissy was not the best socially. She was actually pretty unlikable. What ended up getting her the victory was her strategic mind and her out of nowhere ability to beast out all the challenges. She's tied for the most wins for a woman at 4 wins in one season. Mind you, she was either the oldest or the second oldest person on that cast. So I think she's the perfect person to put on here. When I thought of a season 50 cast, one-time players, she's a one-time player you put on this group. If I had to guess who she's going to get along with, looking at this group, I think maybe Stephenie, because they're both moms. Maybe a Mike White. She wasn't really a girl's girl, Chrissy. She really was not. She got I could see her and Charlie actually having kind of a mother-son thing, because if you remember, the turtleneck dude Ryan was her number one, and they were both kind of nerdy. I could see Charlie being like her new Ryan. Hell, I could even see Rizzo being her new Ryan. Like a younger guy seems like her type of person. I could also see maybe Emily. Maybe she gets along with Emily. Emily is very much her type of person. Jenna Lewis even could be. So there's a lot of options for Chrissy on this season. The only concern I have for her is that I do see Chrissy being a target for an early tribal council elimination. Because if these tribes go based off of comp prowess, I think that Chrissy is probably the weakest person when it comes to team challenges. It's funny because Chrissy is good in individual challenges, but those team games with like the puzzles and the physical part, she may slow them down, or she may even just be viewed as slowing them down because she is, I think she's the oldest one on this cast. If not the oldest, I think that maybe Coach and Colby and Jenna, and then maybe her. I don't know though, but I'm rooting for you, Chrissy. I hope you do well. I want to see players like you do well on this season. Next up is another person that was very obvious that we were going to see them again. The question was just when, and that is Christian Hubicki from David Goliath. Christian is another great choice for a one-time player to be on this cast. Honestly, so far we're doing very well. These are all one-time players except for Aubry. And I would even say that all 5 of these guys are people that are legends in the making. Like, even though Aubry, played 3 times already, I think she needs one more good showing to like cement herself as a Survivor great. Christian, if he does good in this season, he will be cemented as a Survivor great. Christian is entertaining. I don't listen to Rob Has a Podcast all that much because the people that are in that community are really fucking obnoxious. No shade to you, Rob Has a Podcast people. I like Rob Has a Podcast. I like Rob. I like some of the people in that world, but I also think that some of you in that world are fucking jackasses. No tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. And if I was ever put on the show for realsies, I'm just not a fan of Survivor fans. Anyways, Christian is a very smart guy, and I don't see him being targeted with this group. He's very likable. He's very charming. He's not too bad in the challenges. He won an immunity, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he won an immunity. Oh yeah, he did when he talked that other guy's ear off. What, Alec? Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm excited to see Christian again. I think he's a very entertaining character. He's gonna be funny on here. Um, and he's got two other people from his season that are on this cast. Angelina and Mike. I'm wishing him luck. I don't really know what else to say. It's just he's Christian. He's like the funny, weird nerd. Yeah. All right, next person. How old is he, by the way? I never can tell if this motherfucker is old or you know what he is? He's a young guy that has like old person energy. Yeah, see, he's only 39. I'm telling you, I would have thought that this motherfucker was like 40s, 50s, or 40s his first go, 50s this go. But no, he must have been. How old was he on his first go? He must have been in his 20s. He was 32 on his first go, not too far out from being 20s. That is so funny. Ugh, ay vey. Well, good luck to you, Christian. I hope you do I hope you make a few bob and do a good job. All right, let's move on to our next contender. Easily the biggest name on this cast. There's a lot of controversy around her participation, but I don't give a fuck. Cirie Fields, Panama, Micronesia, Hero Villain, Game Changers, Australia versus the World, The Traitors, Snake in the Grass, Big Brother, you name it, she probably did it. Now, I hear a lot of people saying that Cirie Fields should not be on this cast. And to that, I say, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck how many shows Cirie has gone on. Cirie could have been on every fucking show out there. She still should be on this season. It also is so funny to me because I 100% would have thought that she would have gone on The Amazing Race with Jared. Now it makes sense to me why she didn't, probably to get ready for this. I think really the only thing going against Cirie is the fact that we have seen her so much, and she just did Australia versus the World, and we don't know how she did. Allegedly, spoiler alert, mute your screen if you don't want to know. Allegedly, she gets to the end of that game. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if that's still a thing, but that's what I heard through the grapevine. My thing is, Cirie is the most deserving of another chance for this incarnation of Survivor than anyone else. Because if number one most robbed was Chrissy Hofbeck, number two most robbed is Cirie. Let's look at her tenure on American Survivor, shall we? Season 1, Survivor Panama. And by season 1, I mean her first season. She makes it all the way to Final 4 and is eliminated on fire making. Okay. That's just part of the game. She didn't get voted off, but she lost to fire. Okay. Not too bad. Micronesia, she gets to the final 3, but 3 people got medically evacuated or quit this season. We have too many days left. We have an extra episode that we need to fill. What shall we do? Oh, we got to change this. This is no longer a final 3. For the first time in Survivor history, even though it was not the first time, we are changing this to a final 2. That has been confirmed, by the way. That's not a fan theory. And you know how you can tell? Because there's 8 jurors on this cast with 2 people in the finals. So what the fuck were they going to do if there was a tie? And mind you, this was a very close vote. It was 5-3, so it very well could have been a tie. So Cirie, had she gotten to the final 3, I believe it's been confirmed that she would have won the vote. If not, it would have been close between her and Parvati. So far, fire making lost and last second final 3 change. Okay, Heroes and Villains, what happens? Heroes and Villains, her worst showing on any of her shows, she gets 17th place. How? Because someone has an idol, they split the votes, and someone flipped, and she went home by, I think it was like a vote of 3-3-2, some 4, I think it was like 4-3-2, something like that. So, all right, that's 3 seasons. It's been a weird way she's gone home. Her last season, Game Changers, she goes the whole season, no votes against her, 0 votes for Cirie to be voted off. Then at the final 6, Ty stands up. Jeff, I want to play my idol. I want to play my idol for me. But wait, I'm not done yet, Jeff. I got another idol. I have another idol, and it is for Aubry. For Aubry. Oh, shit. Brad Culpepper has immunity, and now Ty and Aubry have immunity idols. Play for them, so they're safe. Oh, Officer Sarah. Officer Sarah's coming through. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Officer Sarah has the legacy advantage. The shit that we've only seen twice. Honestly, that doesn't even really make sense on this season. It only made sense the last time because it was like a generational thing. But all right, it's here. Sierra Dawn Thomas gave it to her. What does the legacy advantage do? Oh, well, the legacy advantage is like an idol, and you get to play it on yourself at exactly top 6. So Officer Sarah is safe. Oh boy. So now Brad is safe. Aubry and Ty have been idled, and Officer Sarah has the legacy advantage. So shit, now we just got Troyzan and Cirie that were not the targets tonight, but I guess we're gonna have to see what happens. Wait, Jeff! It's me, Troyzan. I'm actually still on this season. I'm making my first appearance. Here I am. And guess what? I found an idol on the Green Tribe that y'all planted for me like 20 days ago. And I still have it because everyone forgot that I was here. So guess what? I'm playing my idol because I just want to make sure I'm safe. And I'm at the target next episode anyway, so I'm just going to play it. So, all right. We got 3 immunity idols played. We got a butt-fuck advantage played. And we've got individual immunity. Oh, well, there's Cirie. Cirie, what do you got? I got a goose egg, Jeff. Oh, sorry, Cirie. We don't got a revote. There's no votes against you, but you don't got secret power. So by default, Cirie, the tribe has spoken. That was what watching Survivor Game Changers was like. That had to be the biggest crock of shit that I've ever... That comment, no, Leonardo, thank you. But I'm just going to remove that comment just so people don't get spoiled. But thank you for fixing me. But y'all, that had to be the biggest crock of shit I had ever seen on Survivor. And they acted like it was some great thing. And it's like, no, I wouldn't have liked that even if it happened to someone I didn't like. But it was crazy. Cirie has been fucked over by production changes or idols or advantages or fire making every time she's played. And listen, there's no guarantee she would have won Game Changers. She probably still would have been targeted at the last challenge, but we never know. So if Cirie does deserve a chance to finish what she started, exactly, Cirie, production has spoken. So that's why if anyone deserves to be on all these shows, to come back for season 50, to play the shit again, it's her. And if you want to hate, hate. And honestly, as a huge fan of hers, my one problem with being skipped over and not getting to play the show before season 50 is the fact that I don't get to play with her. I would have loved playing with her. And it's like, oh, I wish I would have played with her. Oddly enough, I don't think Cirie is in all that much danger with this cast. In Game Changers, mind you, she would have gone home if they had lost any tribal. Any tribal before the merge, she was going home. But with this group, I don't really see Cirie being an outright target. Now remember, she's got Stephenie LaGrossa in there with her. Stephenie and her are very close friends, but Cirie had to betray Stephenie in the Traitors. So I'm wondering, is Stephenie going to get her lick back and vote her off or not? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking that Stephenie's not going to be petty, and they're going to be linked together. Cirie's also got Colby in there. Colby led to her demise way back when. I think she's going to try getting her lick back on Colby. Her and Ozzy are cool now, so I don't see them having any problems. But other than that, I think Cirie's just very well respected, and it would take a lot for Cirie to be the first out, and there's still a lot of big threats in this cast that I think might have the target on them before. What's up, Jeremy? Anyways, I love Cirie. I'm here for Cirie. I'm excited to see her on my screen. I would die laughing if we get to see her before Australia versus the World even comes out. Anyways, let's move on to the next person. Next up on this list, we've got the Dragon Slayer Coach. Okay, here's my thing with Coach. If I played the game with Coach, I could see myself not liking him at all. I played Beast games with a guy that actually reminded me a lot of Coach. Oddly enough, I got along with him because, you know, I can get along with pretty much everybody, but I actually got along with him pretty well. The thing with Coach is Coach has a really big ego. And if it wasn't apparent before, it is oh so apparent now. Because I would like everybody to check Coach's Instagram. Let's take a look at Coach's Instagram and go to his story. His story says, a few weeks ago, I had a change of heart and made that phone call, and I said yes. And he set that story to here we go again. I'm not joking. This is on his Instagram right now. I don't get it. My thing is, do you know how much balls it takes for someone who is on a returning player season to spoil that they're on the fucking cast? Do you know how much production would need to be up his ass to play again for him to be able to post some bullshit like this and get away with it? This motherfucker is about to play this game with the highest ego we have ever seen in the history of Survivor. Mind you, a couple months ago, Coach was rumored to have turned down playing this season. He also said he turned down the Traitors. So he's also posting his same old Bible shit. Here's the thing, Coach. I wouldn't try that bubble shit. According to Redmond, Coach was a replacement for Jonathan Penner. Really? Because I did hear Jonathan Penner was a name. I would have actually really liked to see Jonathan Penner, but I'm going to be real. Coach is the better choice between the two. And I like Jonathan Penner more than Coach. My thing with Coach is I'm all for crazy motherfuckers. Crazy motherfuckers are the most interesting people to put on this show. And I'm just looking at this cast. Put him on a tribe with Tiffany. People are saying put him with Q. No, put him with Tiffany. Put him with Camila. Put him with Cirie. Put him with Dee. Put him with Chrissy. Ooh, Chrissy would be a good one. Put him with Chrissy. I just want the funniest part about Coach is not Coach himself, but other people's reactions to Coach. I'm very interested to see what this guy does on this season. This is going to be so much fun to have him back. And I'm kind of hoping that what I'm hoping is he lasts long enough where we can get some good moments, but I don't want him on the jury. I want him to get out right before the jury. I want his ego bruised just a little bit. But this is a good person to have. So far, I would say every single person, all 7 of these people that I've mentioned so far, Angelina, Aubry, Coach, Charlie, Chrissy, Christian, Cirie, they're all very deserving of being on this cast. If I had to cut any of them, I'd say Aubry. But even then, I see why she's on this cast. But that brings me to this next person where I think it's a little bit questionable that he's on this cast. We've got Colby Donaldson, Australian Outback, All-Stars, and Hero Villain. I will start by saying this. Colby does deserve to be on this cast. And I think he's a good choice. Number one, they always like to have Australian Outback because Australian Outback, honestly, is the first season. It was the biggest season ever for Survivor in terms of like ratings. I think it even beat Borneo. I might be wrong, but I think it did beat Borneo. Colby was also one of the most popular players in Survivor history. I think the only person that beat him out on that was like Rupert, who I'm very surprised is not on this cast, by the way. I think that they did drop the ball a little bit by not putting Rupert on here. Colby, I don't know how he's going to play. I really don't. His first season, he's a comp beast that's, you know, a little snarky, but very loyal. And he screws himself over from winning $1 million by taking Tina to the final two instead of taking Chef Keith, who was not going to get shit. He comes back to All Stars and he has this huge ego because he was the fan favorite. He got all these opportunities. He was in movies. He got his own gun show. Yeah, look up. He hosted a reality show about shooting. And he goes home right before the merge. Heroes and Villains, he's on the bottom the whole time, the whole season on the Hero Tribe and then in the merge. Because he does not have the same physicality he had the first time. But he makes it all the way to the final five because he's the most likable out of the heroes left, the least ego-driven, and he does make a couple of good moves. Like, he blindsides Cirie. He gets them to take James out over him. So now I don't know what Colby brings to this season. I don't know what Oh, listen, Aaron. What's up, Aaron? Listen, I tried, bro. I tried. My biggest problem with Survivor, and if they ever call my ass back, is going to be that you motherfuckers had a chance to get me on before 50. You didn't take the shit, and now I missed out on this legendary season. That's my biggest problem with those motherfuckers. And there's a bunch of people on this season that were on the season I would have done. So, oh well, but we'll see in the future. Colby, if Rizzo gets rid of her, I will die. Colby might make a strong alliance with Jonathan and Joe. See, I don't think so. I don't think so because Colby is not that strong. Let me look at him right now. Colby Donaldson. What is Colby working with right now? Is he still in shape or does he have a bit of a beer gut? Oh, here he is. He doesn't even look. I don't even recognize this motherfucker. He has. Oh my God. He looks like a Roblox character. Is this real? Y'all Google Colby Donaldson. Look at what he looks like right now. He is the most chiseled, square-looking motherfucker I have ever seen in my life, besides like Jackson Mickey. Very interesting. Okay, he looks like, okay, so he's 51, probably one of the older people on the cast. He does look like he's in pretty good shape. All right, Colby. I see you, Colby. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what type of player he is, but maybe. I see him getting along with Joe more than I see him getting along with Jonathan. But I'm also thinking now, didn't he meet up with Jonathan? Somebody met up with Jonathan, right? I swear to God, somebody was it Boston Rob that did? I don't know. I'm not sure how many people you've gone through, but I don't see why Colby should be coming back. Oh, yeah, well, because remember, y'all, every season Colby did, Jerry was there too. Like, they were always a package deal, him and Jerry. It is very weird having Colby and not Jerry. It's kind of like having peaches without cream, you know? I am interested to see what Colby brings to the table, though, on his own. I am. And hopefully Jerry does get a chance in the future. But yeah, he's a huge question mark to me. Probably the biggest question mark on this list. And Aaron, so far I've been going alphabetical, so we're up to Colby. The next person on the list, someone that I would have thought that this person was a lock, but then they went and just did another show, and I thought maybe they're not. But oh, I can only share up to 10. Okay, let me remove some of these people from. I have a bunch of images up that I got to remove. All right, so this person, we have Dee Valladares. Okay, here's the thing with Dee. Everyone thought she couldn't be on because she just did the challenge. No, I knew she could still be on. Why? The challenge is owned by the same company. It's owned by Viacom, the same company that produces Survivor. And at the end of the day, Jeff and the production team of Survivor may put the cast together, but at the end of the day, CBS and Viacom are the people that decide who gets on. I wouldn't be surprised if the network was somebody that said, you need to get Dee on this cast. I think Dee was a lock from the beginning, to be honest with you. I think that Dee was always going to be on this cast. That's the thing. Like, it would have been different if she went off and did Traitors like Carolyn did. Even then, I still think she'd be on. You got to remember, Dee did On Fire with Jeff. She's been representing Survivor in commercials. She's, in my opinion, the best player we've seen in the new era. Yes, I think she's better than Kyle. She's the best winner. She's kind of like one of the faces of the new era. If you made a Mount Rushmore, I would say Dee would be on the Mount Rushmore. Jesse would be on the Mount Rushmore. I think maybe Jam Jam and or Carolyn would be on there. And then I would say Kyle or Camila would be on there. But I'd really have to think about it. But yeah, Dee is going to be one tough cookie. Dee is a really good player. The only problem is people now know how good she is. But I think that Dee is such a good player socially that even though people know how dangerous she is, they are not going to care. Dee is very likable. She's one of those people that you want to be friends with. She's gorgeous as well, which does not hurt. I just don't see this group of people seeing Dee and be like, we need to vote her off first. I think at the very least, Dee is going to make it past the very beginning. The only person that might be a problem for Dee is Miss Jenna Lewis over here. If you don't remember, in Survivor All-Stars, Jenna Lewis was the player that rallied everyone saying all the winners need to go home. And of everyone on this cast, there's only 2 people on here that have won Survivor, her and Kyle. We don't know if Savannah or Rizzo won. There's a shot one of them did win. And then there's Cirie who won the Traitors. But I think Dee's only problem is that she is a former winner. There's also controversy around Dee with the whole Wendell thing. Now, if y'all don't know this, I think like a year ago, there was this controversy that Wendell Holland from Winners at War and Ghost Island cheated on his pregnant wife with Dee. And then it came out that, yes, that is what happened. And people were all over Dee's case. But I came forward and I defended her. And we follow each other on Twitter now because of that, which is so funny. She followed me after I defended her. I was like, oh my God. But my thing is, why are you blaming her? Why are you blaming Dee when Wendell's the one that was married? Like, no. Anyways, that might be against her. My biggest thing with Dee and why I fucking love her is that so many of you bitches come on this show and say that you're willing to do whatever it takes to win. Dee had a full-on relationship with Austin on this show and still lied to him because she knew that was what she needed to do to win. She lied to him all the way up to the final tribal council. And I'm telling you, as someone that has played in one of these competition shows, that is not an easy thing to do. You feel these bonds. And mind you, they were together the whole season. So I give her a little bit of kudos. For me, she's one of the biggest names on here and one of the biggest threats. Might be controversial, but I really don't want winners on 50. The odds of them pulling a Sandra are slim to none, and we just had Winners at War last returning season. Aaron, I have to say I disagree with you. The reason is, number one, Winners at War is already 5 years ago. By the time this shit airs, it's going to be 6 years ago. So I'm not too mad at winners coming back, especially since the winners they did bring back are all new era that did not have a shot. If they brought back a winner from Winners at War, that's different. Number two, is that Dee and Kyle are two of the strongest players in the new era, so I think that they do deserve a spot on here. Number 3, when Sandra won Heroes and Villains, it was considered to be impossible for a winner to win, because when Heroes and Villains came out, that was the second time ever that a winner had come back to play again. And in All Stars, all of the winners went home before the jury phase. And ever since then, the winners have gone home since the before the jury phase. I think that Dee and Kyle are strong enough players to break that, and it's an interesting storyline to follow to see if they will be able to. I agree with you too, by the way. Amanda Kimmel not being on here is a travesty. I will say, though, I don't think Amanda Kimmel is all that much of a personality. I'm sorry, I just got to be honest. I think she's just more of an interesting player. Since we have 3 tribes, might have a winner. Oh, I did hear this theory. If one of them won, I hope it's Rizzo. I hope my buddy won that. I would be very happy if Rizzo won Survivor. Damn, he gonna be rich as shit, though. Mike will be the goat of the season and make the finale because the contestant might want to make a... I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was on there, I probably would want to be friends with him just so I could be a White Lotus. I'm not gonna even lie about that. That is funny. Anyways, let's continue on. Next up, a relatively surprising choice, Emily Flippen. Okay, here's why I'm surprised by her. The first thing that Emily said when she got off of season 45 was that Survivor's a one and done type thing for her. And I will say too, Emily probably was one of the bigger personalities of the 40s. And she is a very good character. I don't know. I didn't see her being someone they pulled for 50. But I will say, I am glad she's here. And I'm curious to see what she's going to do on a second go around. She's got Dee on here from 45 with her. I think that's it. I think it's just Dee and Emily, right? Yeah, it's just Dee and Emily. I do think that these two are good picks. If you were going to pick 2 from 45, I think Dee and Emily are 2 very good choices. I'm not sure how Emily's going to fly with this group. I actually think that Emily was someone that was more suited for an all-star season than a regular season. I mean, the way that she went after Bruce from the jump, I was like, yes, this is my girl. And still somehow surviving. I want to see how she interacts with Q. I want to see how she interacts with Coach. I want to see how she interacts with Rick Devens. It's going to be very interesting to see how Emily goes. But, I mean, that's all I really got to say about her. Emily was someone I enjoyed a lot more in the early parts of the season. But then as the seasons went on, I was kind of like, on Emily. I was like, We'll see. I hope we get OG Emily Flippen. I hope we get pre-jury Emily Flippen, not post-jury Emily Flippen. Next person, another new era player, Genevieve Mushaluk. Well, Genevieve, I wish you much luck. It's so funny to me that Genevieve is on this cast. And is she the only one from 47 on here? I think she is the only one from 47. She is. She's the only one from 47. It's so funny to me that Genevieve is not only the only one from 47 on this cast, but also one of the more anticipated players that's on here. Because I remember when when season 45 started, everyone was making memes about Genevieve being completely invisible and being irrelevant. And then after that episode where she got rid of, what was that motherfucker's name? Keyshawn. See, I'm crazy. I can remember shit like that. Keyshawn, it was like she was a whole new person. And the whole season, she was like one of the major players. I don't know how she's going to do with this cast. She's a big threat, but everyone on here is a big threat. I'm excited to see how she does. I don't know who she works with. Maybe Dee, maybe Angelina, maybe Cirie, maybe Charlie. I don't know, but we'll see. Good luck. Much luck to you, bitch. Next up, a very exciting addition, in my opinion. Jenna Lewis, all the way back from Survivor Borneo and All Stars. Of everyone on this list, Jenna Lewis has had the longest break from Survivor. The last time that she played was 2003. 22 years ago. It has been over 20 years since she has set foot on the island. The game is completely different. She played with no immunity idols, no forced fire making. Fire making wasn't even the rule on her season. Fire making was rocks at Final Four. She had a final two on her season, no advantages, 39 days. This is as OG as you get. This is somebody that you put on a brand steel when you're simulating seasons, or someone you say deserves to come back that hasn't been back for a while. This is like a dream choice. And Jenna Lewis is a damn interesting character. First season, she's one of the victims of the pagonging, but she didn't go down silently on her season. And that was the first one. All Stars, she is like a whole new being, and she steamrolled that season. She got all the winners taken out. She set that precedent. She went with Boston Rob and Amber to the top 3. And unfortunately, she just didn't win the final immunity challenge. Had she won the final immunity challenge, she was our all-star winner. Jenna Lewis, someone said Jenna Lewis is one of the... Oh, no, you said Genevieve is one of the favorites to win. I just don't understand why we brought back Jenna Lewis, but also that it was either her or Elizabeth, apparently. I don't think it would have been either her or Elizabeth. Maybe you're right, though, because I didn't start hearing her name until this cast list drop, and Elizabeth was dropped out of the cast. But from the beginning, I heard season 1 female, season 1 male. In my opinion, you can't do a 25th anniversary season without doing someone from Borneo. I thought it was a travesty that Richard Hatch was not on Winners at War. That's just my thing, though. I think Jenna deserves to be here, and I think her being here is very interesting. Just because the game is totally different from how it was back then. Jenna is another person that I don't see being a target early, unless she's targeted for being really old school and for being not good at the team challenges. But I want to see, what does she look like right now? I'm going to pull up an image of her real fast. Jenna Lewis Doherty. You know what? I have to say, Jenna Lewis looks really fucking good for her age. How old is she right now? Is she in her, 40s? She might not be that old. She's in her 40s. Okay, I forgot. She was only in her, early 20s when she first played. So she's not even as old as some of the other people on this cast. Y'all, I gotta say, look up an image of her. She looks pretty good. I think she's gonna do just fine. She looks like she's still in shape. She don't got a lot of wrinkles. She looks just like an everyday mom. I think she's actually the same age as Chrissy Hofbeck. Let me check that real fast. No, I stand corrected. She's younger than Chrissy. There's people on this cast that are older than her. I could see Jenna doing very well in this game. I'm rooting for her. I think she's going to bring back some of that raw energy we needed. I like the idea of her coming back because season 1, but more so I wish we got someone else. I totally understand that. There are people that I think should have been on here. From season 1 specifically, though, I will say, if it wasn't her, I think the only other people would have been Richard Hatch or Sue Hawk. But Sue Hawk is not coming back, and Richard Hatch is not coming back at this point. What, Kelly Wigglesworth? We don't need Kelly Wigglesworth. Jervis? No. Greg should be on. I think Greg is that's not happening. And also at this point, if you're going to bring someone from season 1, it needs to be a legendary person. And I'm sorry, Greg is not legendary. Neither is that other, what was that other girl? Gertrude? I don't remember what her name was, but that girl. Yeah, Jervis was a possibility at one point, but I think Jenna's a perfect person to pick. I'm very excited to see what she brings. And again, I hope you do a good job and get a few bob. Next up, of all the people on this cast, this is the person, Gretchen, yeah. This is the person I'm the least excited about. Joe Hunter. When I tell you I have absolutely no excitement coursing through my veins about this guy being on the show, I don't need to. Why is he here? Why is he here? I'm telling you right now. Joe is on this season because of recency bias. If Joe was on, if season 48 happened 2 years ago, he would not be here. I am praying that this man is just an alternate, because why is he here? Why is he here? I get it. It was very touching. His relationship with Eva, he was gonna win the game. He's this huge threat. Blah 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 blah. No, bitch. This motherfucker was boring. He contributed to a boring fucking season. There is nothing wrong with a pagonging or one alliance taking over the whole game. Just look at Exile Island. What's another example? Look at Game Changers. There are examples of seasons being interesting even when a majority alliance has control the whole time. Joe was not interesting. I'm sorry, he's not interesting. Shaheen, I didn't even find, and I think Shaheen's a nice guy. I had a conversation with Shaheen. I didn't even find him to be that interesting with this group. And I think on his own, he would have been more interesting. Kyle, in my opinion, was fucking boring linked up with Joe the whole time. I don't think Joe is season 50 level. To me, what it feels like is they saw this cast and they saw Rick Devens nerd, Rizzo nerd. Well, I'm not going to say Rizzo's a nerd, but Rizzo is more nerdy and he is like a jock, right? Mike White nerd, Christian nerd, Charlie nerd, Coach weirdo. Like, I think that they wanted to have some like beefy, brawny guys on this season because it was such a thing in 48. And I think Jeff secretly gets a big boner and masturbates whenever there's meatheads on this cast. All right. Because we got what? Joe, Jonathan, Kyle, Colby, and then who else? Ozzy. So there you go. You got your meatheads. But it's like there were better meatheads to pick from, in my opinion. I don't think Joe needed to be the choice. They could have put Xander. Well, I think they also wanted an older person, not all young people. But it's like you could put Xander's ass on here. I know he's a fuckboy from the rumor mill. You know, Xander actually lives on Long Island. He lives in my area. I didn't know that, but he does. He lives in my area and goes to the same gym that I used to go to, which is very interesting. Thomas, no. See, Joe is here, so if you're going to put someone in Joe's place, it has to be someone that fits his archetype. Hell, you could put in someone from the 20, put Malcolm in there. Malcolm at this point probably is the same age as Joe. Who's someone that's like, oh, but loyalty, I'm loyal, I'm so loyal. Like, who is someone like that? I don't know, but Joe is just like, I will say, if you're going to align with someone on this season, Joe's a good person to align with because Joe is probably not going to lie to you. He's probably going to stick to his word. But if you don't have any interest in working with him, I say he needs to be the first to go. Because if Joe sticks around for too long, people are going to be like, well, I'm not going to waste my vote on Joe. I know where Joe is. And the fact is, Joe is not going to be the biggest threat on this cast. I don't give a shit. You're telling me Joe is going to be the biggest threat to win of all of these people with Q walking around, Rick Devens walking around, Dee walking around, Angelina walking around. Like, no, it's not going to be Joe. So if anyone from the cast of season 50 is watching this shit, vote this motherfucker out first. I want to be entertained, but also don't let yourself be trapped in a game with this bitch that no one's going to vote off. Because I'm telling you, no one's going to waste the vote on him. I'm not going to say bitch because I do like Joe. I don't, let me rephrase that. I don't dislike Joe. I don't dislike Joe. But it's like, I don't know, like, oh my God, like, please. please. Sorry, Joe. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but no, I don't need you here. Okay, let's move on to next one. Jonathan Young. I'm not a fan of Jonathan Young. I'm fine with him being here. I'm not all that surprised he is here. Jonathan Young was not a fan favorite to, our side of the Twitter sphere, but Jonathan Young was definitely a fan favorite for all the Survivor soccer moms. So him being here, I accept it. And when we did our tier list for who's going to be on, he was someone I put down as a lock. I knew he was going to be on. My thing with Jonathan, I don't find him to be all that good of a player. He tried taking credit for Marianne's move or whatever. I'm like, Jonathan, yes, you're a meathead. Yes, you got brought to the end. But was Jonathan winning the game if he was in the final three? Like, honestly, can someone from 42 enlighten me? Was he going to win? I don't see that. Maybe though, because they were going to give it to Mike, but I feel like Marianne would have, pulled something out and beaten him. Because what did he do in his season? Oh, he was great at challenges. Okay, but he's also like significantly bigger than everyone else that was on that cast. Jonathan is someone you put in a game to root against. He's the only one from 42. He's not the worst choice they could have done. They could have given us High. I don't need High. I don't need Drea. I don't need Omer. I don't need Lindsay. I really, honestly, if it wasn't going to be him, the only one I would have accepted is Marianne. Or Tori. Tori would have been good. But yeah, I don't know. Jonathan, make some Bob, I guess, but I don't hope you do a good job. Jonathan is Jeff Probst's favorite. Okay, here's my thing. Because I've met Jeff Probst. Jeff doesn't give me someone that would like pick Jonathan as his favorite. See, I think that low-key, Jeff acts like these are his favorite types of players, but I think in all actuality, his actual favorite players are like the Mariannes or the coaches. I think he likes the weird motherfuckers more, or like the Carolyns. I don't see these types of guys being his favorite. You know what I mean? It's very odd. I don't know. That's just my experience with him, but I don't know. And if he's on there too, get rid of his ass the second you get to merge. You don't need him here. Please. Next up, kind of surprised she's here. Camila. So we had heard from the very beginning that there was going to be a woman from season 48 that was going to be on. Everybody assumed it was Say. Part of me thinks originally it was Say, but then it just changed to Camila last second. This is my thing with Camila. I don't need Camila on this season. I like Camila. I wanted Camila to win. I think Camila's game was severely underrated by you motherfuckers out there that think you're amazing players. I thought her strategy of being a secret duo with Kyle and knowing what was going on both sides and not being viewed as a huge threat was amazing. I thought the only fumble she made was at the 1 yard line telling Kyle that I'm putting you in the fire. But why do we have Kyle, Camila, and Joe all together from the same alliance on the same season? I don't understand that. I think if you were going to put two of them together, run it back with Kyle and Camila. I think that's fine. Interesting. Now we see the duo where everyone knows they're a duo. Not only do we know they're a duo, but this is fresh off the heels. The season just ended, and we watched you both control this whole season. Now we get to watch you again. And we saw on the last season of Winners at War, last All-Star season, Natalie was voted off first, not because of anything she did, but because Jeremy was there and they wanted to separate. Same thing with Amber. They wanted to separate Amber and Boston Rob. I'm very nervous for Camila because I think between Kyle and Camila, Camila's going to be the one voted off first because Kyle is a lot more helpful in challenges. He's a lot more likable. The only thing going against Kyle is that he's a former winner. I would like to see Camila play without Kyle, but I will say I wish that Say was here instead of her. If we had to choose, I would have wanted Say instead. But I'm interested to see what Camila does, and I hope she gets a few bob and does a good job. Good luck. Very surprising, and good luck to you. I hope out of all three, you're the one that makes it the furthest. And then we've got Kyle, the second half of Kyle and Camila. I mean, my thing with Kyle is Kyle was a good winner. I thought he was a good person. I liked him. There's not a whole lot to say about Kyle, though. I mean, there's not. Like, he has a fun backstory. I felt for him. He went to jail, whatever. What was interesting about him was his relationship with Camila. Camila at least gave us funny diary rooms. This motherfucker just cried in his diary rooms. I would like to see how he plays if he doesn't have Camila anymore. I hope this motherfucker doesn't do the same shit he did on 48 where he tries to bring all the strong guys together. Oh yeah, I agree with you. I think that Jenna's going to get them out as soon as she can. No, I kind of don't either, Aaron. I agree with that as well. They just don't give the best of the best, the most entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they are one of the best duos we've ever seen, right? But most entertaining? No. Like, I feel like for 50, no, I didn't really need to see them. Or I didn't need to see the two of them with Joe. You know what I mean? I would have rather the two of them and Say. I think Say should be here, whether y'all like Say or don't like Say. On my last video, I had people saying, oh, but I don't like Say, and I disagree. I'm like, all right, well, you can disagree all you want. I don't like Coach, but I still know Coach is entertaining, and Coach should be here. You know what I mean? I think people conflate liking someone as a person to liking, enjoying them on TV. Have y'all never heard of loving to hate somebody? Anyways, good luck, Kyle. I am very worried for you on this season, especially since you have the recency bias going against you. Whatever. Next one, probably the most shocking person on this cast. Mike White. Very, very, very shocking he is here because he is quite literally on the top of the world right now with White Lotus. He obviously does not need the money. This is definitely a just for fun thing with him. But I will say I'm fucking hyped for him. He is somebody that if I was... Oh, I'll get to that one. If I was playing Survivor, I'm telling you right now, Mike White would be the number one person that I align with. And it's not because I want to be on the White Lotus. I would want to be on the White Lotus. But a big part of it is he is just so fucking funny. And I just know queening out with him would be funny as shit. I will never forget Mike White stumbling around with the wine glass, drunk, while Nick and Angelina are trying to find the idol clue. And he's like, these fucking dumbasses, the idol clue's right here. Mike is funny as shit. And I'm very happy he's here. He should have won the season. I think if he was not already rich in David Goliath and didn't give a shit, I would have liked to see him in here. I think he would have won. I could see him being a 0-vote finalist. I could definitely see that. He wasn't all that great of a player. Well, actually, no, he was. He did that move with Angelina to get Gabby out. Oh, and let's not forget, Angelina's on this cast. People are going to talk. You know what's so funny is that Angelina and Mike are probably the closest duo that is on this cast. If y'all look at this cast, I think immediately people are going to say, oh, well, guys, we need to get out Kyle and Camila. They're a duo. There's other duos on here, y'all. Cirie and Stephenie are a duo. Mike and Angelina are a duo. Who else? We don't know if Rizzo and Savannah may be a duo. There's other duos on here. There's probably duos I'm not even thinking of. I would say Dee and Emily could be a duo. You know what I mean? So Mike, I think, is going to do pretty well on this cast. I don't see him going home first, second, third, fourth, unless he volunteers to leave. So good luck, Mike. You don't need to make a few bob. You already got that, but I hope you do a good job. The next one, Ozzy Lusth. Cook Islands, South Pacific, fan favorite, game changers. Now everybody is like, why is he here? Oh, Jeff has a boner for him. I'm telling y'all right now, he is here because of CBS. He is not here because of Jeff. I'm telling you right fucking now. Like I said earlier with Dee, where people were surprised that Dee was there because she was just on the challenge. Dee was probably recommended by CBS because the challenge is owned by the same company. The same way that back in Game Changers, they used to do these videos where Jeff would talk about everyone on the cast. And he said he didn't want Ozzy on, but CBS pushed him. And then that was what put him on. I think that Ozzy is just so intertwined with Survivor's identity that CBS is like, yeah, he has to be on. And Jeff's just like, okay. And they don't have really a choice. I think if Jeff picked the whole cast, this cast would look very different. My thing is with Ozzy, he's played 4 times, and he has played the exact same way all 4 times. He wins all the challenges, he provides for the camp, and then he either gets to the end somehow, or he gets taken out for being a physical threat. Game Changers was a pretty embarrassing performance for him, to be honest with you. The same way that I feel that Aubry needed to come back because her last performance was embarrassing, I think that Ozzy needed to come back because his last performance was pretty embarrassing. I also think that Sandra at some point needs to come back. By the way, a little scoop for y'all. Sandra's filming another show right now in the UK. But y'all didn't hear it from me. So is another Survivor winner. But yeah, I think that Ozzy needs to redeem himself. And my thing is, this is the last time I ever need Ozzy on my screen. I don't need a 6th run for Ozzy. There's quite a few people that are on this list that I think this needs to be it. I think this is Aubrey's last go. This is Coach's last go. This is Cirie's last go. Colby's last go. Ozzy's last go. Like, this is the last time we need to see them, at least for a very long time. I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, what is he? He's a porn star now. I'm actually very surprised that they would still want him when he's literally making porn on OnlyFans. I think he actively is still accepting. Because I just remember going on Twitter one day and it being like, oh, because I think I used to follow Ozzy, or someone retweeted it to my page and they're like, oh, come get this jungle fever or whatever the fuck it was. And then it was a big old dick and it was like a big old dick. No, it's not So You Think You Can Dance. But yes, it is Danny. It's a different show. I actually almost did the show that they're doing, but things didn't work out. I'm actually jealous. I would have loved to have done the show that they're doing right now. It's really fun. There's a couple people on. I'm trying not to spoil it because y'all just need to see it. But really, like, fun cast that they have going on there. Big Brother people, celebrities, all that. But yeah, Ozzy fully has porn still going on, y'all. Ugh. My thing with Ozzy is Ozzy needs to change something. He needs to change something, Ozzy. Stop winning all the games. I don't think he has a beer gut anymore. Stop doing that. Stop providing for everybody. Pledge yourself as a really loyal player and backstab everybody. If you are on this season, I would say of all of the like meatheads on here, Ozzy's probably the one you keep around the longest. You know what I mean? I think like Jonathan needs to go, Joe needs to go. Coach is too unstable to keep around. Colby, you don't need Colby. I would say Ozzy's the one you keep around. And Ozzy, all I got to say to you is don't embarrass yourself. And good luck. Next up, another person I had as a lock. Q Burdette. Q was 100% a lock. I thought there was no way that Q was not going to be. I would have been shocked if he was not here. Q is by far the most entertaining person that was on the new era, a breath of fresh air. That motherfucker threatening to quit sent me into orbit. I don't know what he's going to do this go around. He is like in the same category as Coach, where I think his ego is very big, and he is a very my way or the highway type of player. If anyone that is playing season 50 is watching this right now, my advice to you when it comes to Q is keep him at arm's length, but let him think that every move is his move. If, let's say, for example, I want to vote Emily out of the game. You need to tell Q why it's in his best interest to do it. And you need to not tell him. You need to just plant things. So that way it becomes his own idea. That's the type of player Q is. I do think that Q is pretty loyal, though. I think people see someone that's chaotic or fights with people or does too much, and they think that they can't work with them. There's a very big difference between someone that's manic and somebody that's unstable. I think Q is just a manic player, but he's a pretty stable ally. He was a stable ally for Maria. Oh, the only thing is, though, I wouldn't tell him if you have an idol. Don't tell him if you have anything. That goes for all of you, though. If you find an advantage, keep that shit to yourself. Keep it to yourself. And play it if you think there's a chance you're getting votes. Anyways, good luck, Q. Yeah. Next up, one of my least favorite players of all time, Rick Devens. Now, I don't dislike Rick as much anymore as I did back then, but I remember being so happy that he lost Edge of Extinction. I thought this motherfucker was so overrated. I still think he is overrated. Rick, in my opinion, is the worst player on this list. We haven't even seen how Rizzo and Savannah do. And I think that this guy is the worst player on the list. He was voted off fair and square in the pre-jury. He comes back and out of nowhere wins all these challenges. And he gets to the end because he keeps finding idols. For me, he's an example as to why you shouldn't be replanting idols once one is played. And it was bullshit because it's like they were planting idols when a tribe idol was played. It's like, no, an idol should only be replanted if it's the merge idol. He's another one that I don't know how big his ego is. For his sake, his ego should not be that big. I don't even think Rick Devens is one of the bigger names on this list. To be honest, like, he's a name, but like, I think that Aubry's a bigger name, Coach is a bigger name, Cirie's a bigger name, Stephenie, even like Jenna Lewis, Kyle, and Camila. So if there was anyone that I could pick to be first boot, it's him. If any of you on season 50 vote this motherfucker out, I will personally Venmo you $20. Thank you. Next up, I'm going to save the 249 people for the end. Stephenie, this is a very surprising choice. Palau, Guatemala hero villain, but a very welcome choice. Of all the people that were on heroes and villains that have not come back, and at this point, I think I think more of them have come back than haven't. It's Sugar hadn't been back. Stephenie hadn't been back. Let me look right now, actually. Now, I think pretty much all of them have come back. If this cast list is true. Let me see real fast. So of this list, Sugar hasn't been back. Stephenie hasn't been back. Randy hasn't been back. Tom Westman hasn't been back. James hasn't been back. Courtney hasn't been back. Amanda, Candace, and Danielle. Oh, and then Jerry and Colby. So like a little under half have been back at this point, right? I think of all those people, Jerry and Stephenie are the two that needed to come back the most. I'm very excited to see how she plays. I thought she played great in the Traders. I think if the Traders was a different format, she might have been able to win. She has what it takes to do very well. Her exit was very premature on Heroes and Villains. She has her relationship going on with Colby. She was in an alliance with Colby in Hero Villain. She has her relationship with Cirie. going on. I think Stephenie's going to be a little overlooked, but don't get it twisted. Stephenie is a legend on this cast. You know how difficult it is to be on a 10-person tribe and it gets cut down all the way till you're the last one standing? I'm very interested to see her back. One of the most anticipated people for me. My suggestion to her is just be you and do what you did on Traders. And if you're in there, I would say she's a really loyal player. She's someone you can work with for sure. And then we've got Tiffany from 46. This is someone that I was very surprised was on the list. I had not heard her name at all. She's a very welcome addition for me. I remember when I was casting the all-star season of my org, my online game, years ago, something that went through my mind for everyone was, who are they connected to? What stance do they have? Because I think what makes an all-star season great is when you get to see a rehash of what happened before. Tiffany and Q started the game working together, close allies, and by the end of it, Q screwed up Tiffany's whole game and vice versa. So now it's been, what, 2 years? Let's see what they do on the remix. Do they work it out on the remix? On top of that, she was also a very strong player. She found an idol. She was very entertaining. She's one of the people that, didn't keep shit to herself. I'm excited to see what she does now. There's also that dynamic of she didn't vote for Charlie to win. Tiffany being on this cast is very welcoming. I'm excited for it. We'll see you, Tiff. Good luck. I wouldn't trust you, though, if I was in the game. The last two people were very last-minute additions. These were not originally on, but now they're saying they're on. These are two people from season 49. We haven't seen them play yet, but I'm still going to talk about them. It makes sense to me because in Game Changers, they saved a spot for Michaela and Zeke before their season aired. So it makes sense. Because mind you, I think that season 49 is going to be totally overshadowed by the hype for 50. So having two people on, or even one person on from 49 makes sense to me. The first choice, I'm so excited about. Rizzo. I said this in my last video. When I talked about the finale, that Rizzo is a friend of mine that we met in college way back. Oh my God. So I met Rizzo in 2019 when my roommate convinced me to join flag football. I was not good at it. I was not fucking good at it. At that time, I probably weighed like 140 pounds. I could barely stand. And here I was doing flag football. Rizzo's on the team with me. And then one day he texts me in the group me and he's like, "Do you cover Big Brother and Survivor?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." And he recognized me from the Evil Dick podcast. Because if y'all don't know my lore, I used to do recaps with Evil Dick on the Dick at Night podcast. And on top of, I used to do like Big Brother interviews and I used to do live streams a lot more often. So it was crazy to me that he knew who I was. So then we started chatting and we got along pretty well. And then I told him about my game, I Love Money, which is an org. He goes on to play it. He makes it to the jury. And I'm telling y'all, if y'all did not watch his season of I Love Money, you should watch it to understand what type of a player he is. He was like voted off the first night from a first impression vote. He comes back in. There's this alliance of women that were so toxic. And somehow, some way, he was friendly enough with them that they kept him around. And he gets blindsided by his own ally at the first jury member. And it was like such a bad way to go out. I felt so bad. I brought him back for the next season when I did like half returnees, half newbies. And he did really well. And again, he played with like really toxic people. He was able to bond with like pretty much anyone. And he got taken out because he was playing the middle a little too much. And my game, everything is public. The votes are all public. So you can't really hide the same way you can on Survivor. And that was the last time he played. And I remember I wanted to bring him back for All-Stars, but the problem was there was too many people from the season 5 and season 4 group. In hindsight, I probably should have put his ass on because the people I brought from 5 did not bring anything. But yeah, I like he played other orgs too, and he like did really well in them. I remember seeing that he won some games. He was on production for a couple. I think I played a game and he was on production for it. But he's a super fan of these games. Like he's like one of those guys that was like on Reddit, like for Big Brother and all that stuff. Another thing I really appreciate about Rizzo is that he's someone that is like not he's not afraid to like bond with people that are like kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like he was in alliance with some people with a fucking 45-year-old drag queen from Tennessee that came on call and like berated a 15-year-old child. Like he like he was able to align with her and then target her. You know what I mean? Like, and I just don't think that every guy around our age would be willing to do that. You know what I mean? Or like do the lip sync challenges and stuff. So I don't know how he did on 49, but if he played anything like he did in I Love Money, I think he's gonna do very well. In fact, do even better. And we went to college together, and then I've seen him every now and then, like at events or whatever. Since then, I think I checked in with him and his girlfriend after I came back from Beast, and that was like about it. It's just when you grow up, you drift apart from people. You know what I mean? Like there's probably so many people that I have like forgotten about in my life, but I'm very excited for him because I like seeing people on this show that are really fans of the show, that are genuinely like in love with it, you know? Um, I don't like seeing people like Brandon Donlin or who else is a good like Quinn that come on the show and say, "Oh, I want to host a podcast about the show." Oh, like they talk more about being an alumni than they do about being like a contestant. So I don't know how he did on 49, but the fact that they showed him in the preview and now that he's on this season, it tells me that he either did very well or that he won. And some of you were already saying that there's 2 winners out there, so it's likely that there's a 3rd winner so that there's a winner on each tribe. My only thing with that is, would they really put someone on that just won, that no one knows how they won the game? His biggest obstacle is going to be people not knowing what type of player he is. If I had to describe who he was as a player, part of me doesn't want to say, part of me doesn't want to say in case there's other people from the cast that are watching this. But if I had to say what type of a player he is, he's very loyal. He was very loyal to his people in the game. But when he gets a lot of power, sometimes he goes a little bit mad with power. So I hope that he doesn't do that. Like sometimes the Riz God activates a little too much. I remember he was voting off, who was it? He voted off Braden and he won Paymaster where he had the soul vote. And he came in like fucking sunglasses and a fedora. And it was funny. And I just remember it was the funniest shit. And he's sitting here while this person's like pleading their case. And then he's just like, yeah, you gotta go. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it was funny to me because then the next like episode is like, I'm gonna go with majority. I'm gonna go with majority. Sometimes I forget about I Love Money and all the funny shit that happened, but I wish him luck. I think he's gonna do fine. He's good at challenges, he's likable. I don't see people targeting him very early. And there's really big threats on here. So good luck, Riz God. Someone said, "Isn't Rizzo like a string bean?" I don't know. What I will say is that I played flag football with him, and he was a damn good player on flag football. I mean, you don't need to be a beefhead to do well in these challenges. Survivor's not all about like physical strength. He will make it far in the season, so no one knows. I mean, I don't agree with that necessarily. Ever since Russell Hantz, people that you don't know have had targets. Michaela almost went home first on Game Changers because no one knew who she was. He'll be the first person to win back to back. Well, I hope so. And so I talked about Rizzo. The last person is Savannah Louie. I don't know anything about her. I really don't. I'm so sorry to you, Savannah. I'm sure you're an icon. Uh, I'm sure you're a legend in the making. I don't know anything about you. Like, she's a reporter for Atlanta, and that's it. She's a journalist. Oh, like him. Well, isn't he a notary public? How do you get into that? How do you get into notary? I looked that up actually when I was at the Yankee game with my friend, and I'm like, how do you get into being a notary public? Donald Trump becomes okay, so she's anti-Trump. I'm looking at her page right now. Okay, so she's anti-Trump. Is she actually? I can't tell. Well, she posted his mugshot, so I would assume so. I don't know anything about you, legendary Louis, but good luck to you. You have the same thing I said about Rizzo applies to you. I don't know how you did. I don't know if you won. The best thing that you can do as an unknown entity in this game is make yourself known. Let people know what your game is and that you are someone to be trusted. If you let yourself be an unknown entity, you're going to be considered a threat and you're going to be voted off first. So good luck. And that is our season 50 cast, allegedly. So what's happening right now is these 24 people are being flown out to LA, and tomorrow they will not have their phones, and Redmond is going to confirm to us who's on the cast. So we should know by tomorrow who is on and who is off. But it'll be official on Wednesday. My thing is, if this is the cast, I think it could have been a little better. I do. I think that some of the doubles, like, if I had to pick anyone out, I don't think Joe needed to be here. I don't know how Savannah and Rizzo did, so I'm not going to say either of them shouldn't. And I'm biased. I'm not going to say Rizzo shouldn't be on. I'm going to say my friend should be on. So it's like I could see maybe only one of them being here. I don't think Kyle and Camila needed to be together, but I think it'll be interesting, so I'm fine with it. Really, Joe is the only one that I'm like, why are you here? He's really it. Everyone else, I'm all right with them being here. If I had to chop this down to a cast of 20, I would say the ones you get rid of is Joe, Mike White, even though I love Mike White, Aubry, and maybe Tiffany. I don't know. It's kind of hard. I see why they made this a 24-person season. The only thing I have is logistically, I don't know how they're going to do this. I really don't. There's so many people, 26 days. I would imagine there's going to be a couple double tribals, if not multiple, if not like multiple in the very beginning. Or they're just literally going to have to do a tribal council every day. Because with 24 people, how many are being voted off? Like what, 21? They would need to, 21 days of voting people off back to back. Maybe you give them a break the first 3 days. That's the only thing I could see. I don't know. But again, everyone might not be on here. I have heard through the grapevine that this is not a correct cast. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. I don't know though. And before anyone asks, no, I did not ask if Rizzo was going to be on. I honestly, I don't want to know. Like, I really don't want to know. I want to be surprised by any of this. You know what I mean? I have another friend who I think deserved a spot on season 50. I'm not even asking her because for all I know, she could be on this season as well. Yeah, so I am wishing luck to everyone that's on 50. All I can say is that if you're going on, remember, this is a legendary season. This is an iconic season. No matter how you do, it is a win. But let your motivation be, this is your chance to cement yourself as a legend. Sandra became a legend on Hero Villain. Parvati became a legend, Hero Villain. Russell cemented himself as a legend, Hero Villain. Use this opportunity to make yourself a legend. It's time that we have new legends enter that top 10. My winner picks right now, I'm going to have to be a little biased. Redmond's only doubt is Tiffany, Kyle, and Camila. I'm a little doubtful about them too, but my bias, I'm going to say my winner picks, my top 3 is going to be Cirie, Rizzo, and Dee. Cirie, Rizzo, Dee. That's going to be my top 3. I want to say Mike White too, but no, that's going to be my top 3. Let me know before I end the stream, if you have any comments or anything you want to talk about, any questions, put them in the chat. Leonardo's winner picks are Genevieve, Christian, and Angelina. I wouldn't be mad at either. I wouldn't be mad at any of these 3 winning. I wouldn't be. If I had to look at this cast, and also if I had to look at this cast, there's not a lot of people on here that I would say have no shot at winning. I think the ones that have no shot, absolutely no shot. I don't see Coach winning. I don't see. I don't see Joe winning. I don't see Mike winning. I don't see Jonathan winning. And then for women, I just don't see an Aubry win. Could be, but I just don't see it. I don't see a Chrissy win either. I don't see an Emily win. I'm very hesitant to a Cirie win. And then I don't know Savannah. So, and then Tiffany, I don't know. Oh, what's up, Kid Shacky? Nice to see you. Wait, isn't Kid Shacky someone I know? Aren't you one of my people? Is it Sean? Sean, isn't that you? I can't tell. See, y'all always have these weird motherfucking names. No, it's Tony. Taco Tony, of course. Taco Tony, didn't you play a game with Rizzo? Didn't we play a game with him? No, you and I played a game with Aaron and Josh Duenas. But didn't you play a game with him? I swear to God you did. Yes, it is Taco Tony. I see. I didn't even read that you said that. I love Taco Tony. Another I Love Money alum. Ozzy, Colby, and Jenna. Ozzy, maybe. I have heard him talk on podcasts, and I think he could switch things around. Colby's just a big question mark, and Jenna's a huge question mark too. Ozzy, yeah, well, I mean, it's been a long time. For some of these people, it's kind of like, I think of Officer Sarah in season 34, where she was like, are you really a good player if you play all these times and you don't win? It's like getting divorced over and over again. Did you ever see the alleged leaks from 48? Some of them kind of shocked me. The alleged leaks? What leaks from 48? What do you mean? In the chat, I don't know if I ever played with him. I don't know. See, I haven't even been in the org world in so long, y'all. It has been so long since I've played a game or hosted a game. I might host a little mini game, but I just have to say too, I'm so happy seeing a lot of my people do well. When I did Beast Games, it was like, oh great, I finally did a show. Wasn't the show I wanted to do, but I did a show. And then I played that game with Rose Mullet, who so funny too that, oh, I shouldn't even say her name. She's like Voldemort, but she was actually his partner. And then I played with Desiree, and I played with one other. I can't even remember. Oh, KG was there. All terrible people. But now he made it on. I'm very happy for him. I know another girl that is on another show right now from our network. Then wasn't there someone else that was just on a show? I don't even remember. I'm also sick as shit, y'all. Things postseason, apparently things shown shocked me. Aaron, I got to be honest with you. I really don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Another thing I'm curious about, will this season have more episodes? You know what would be really interesting is if they did this season where there was a tribal council and then immediately we had a nighttime challenge and then some time to deliberate overnight, and they did another tribal council. Tribal council's at 7 o'clock. They finished tribal council at 9 o'clock. Then you have a challenge, and that's done by 11. and then you have another person voted off by 1. That would be crazy. And I've been waiting for them to do it. I'm sorry, I'm so bad wording things on me. They can do double boot episodes. Yeah. Another thing I want to know, are they going to do some dumbass twist? Please don't. I don't need Edge of Extinction. I don't need fire tokens. Rizzo might actually be good with fire tokens because we had Coco coins on his season, which are very similar. But I don't need any of those bullshit twists. Just let the people play the game. You know what I mean? I think we're gonna have 14 episodes with the first 6 having double boots. I don't see that. That's way too many. You got to remember, guys, some of these people have been waiting years to come back. And they're not going to come back just to go home 2 episodes in, like have a really good for half of them to go home 2 episodes in. If the first 6 episodes are double boots, that means that 12 of them are going home before we even get to 6 episodes. I'll be watching CBS this Wednesday. Can't wait. Oh, yes, it is on the morning. I forgot about that. Very exciting, y'all. Only thing I'll say is that I'm fucking jealous that I'm not out there. Oh, my goodness. I don't want to say too much about my experience because there's a chance that I might go through it again. But what I will say is that I had the opportunity to possibly play Survivor like 2-3 years ago. And I was so close. And like last second, it was like, nope, we changed our mind. And that was the end of it. So, and I remember like literally being, while I thought I was almost going to go on, I was like, all right, I want to do good because I want to come back and I want to do season 50. So it's a little bittersweet seeing the season happen and knowing that you never played, so you can't do it, because this is going to be a legendary fight and it's going to be so much fun to watch. But I still love Survivor. I can't ever hate on Survivor. You know what I mean? It's like you get diabetes from cookies. You still can't hate cookies. You know what I mean? Either season 43 or 44. No, you're 1 or 2 off. I'm not going to say the exact one, but you're like 1 or 2 off. Though I will say, I don't know how I would have meshed with the group of people that I would have been with. The ones that I would have been with, I thought they were all terrible players, except for the one that ended up winning. Like, it was so frustrating watching those people just hand the win over because they couldn't get over themselves. Another piece of advice to give is don't be afraid to work with someone just because you don't like them. There's people you're going to need to work with because you like them. I remember in Beast Games, I didn't like the cult leader and all those religious assholes, but when I needed a flag during the flag challenge, my ass cried. I feigned a panic attack. I did what I had to do, and they were the ones that helped me because I was nice to them. And it worked out. If I had not done that, I probably would have been eliminated like when there was still like 1,000 people left in the game. So you need to do what you got to do, and liking someone should not impact voting them off, especially on a winner's season. And my biggest regret from Beast Games is not trusting myself and trusting the fact that I can play this game. And if I had, I would have, made it to the top 50. I was going to be chosen. I just didn't think anyone was going to pick me. I didn't think my social game was good. So don't be overwhelmed by any legends on this cast. Don't be like, Cirie's there. Okay, who gives a shit? Camila's there. Who cares? Kyle's there. Who cares? Rick Devens. Like, don't be intimidated by any of these people that are on this cast. All of you are there for a reason. All of you can win it. I think it's 42. Okay. Mitch learned that the hard way. Oh, and please don't be a Mitch. Don't be a bitch like Mitch. Well, exactly. Mitch didn't want to work with Star, and he handed the win over to Kyle and Camila. Like, you got to be willing to work with someone sometimes, like, even if they're kind of annoying, I can't tell you how many times I worked with someone in Beast Games or in an org, and I didn't like them. Or hell, how many times I've been nice to someone at work and I didn't like them because I knew that it was, the best way to, move forward, to be a leader or to like whatever. Anyways, I'm ranting about nonsense now. Imagine if Rizzo is watching this right now. Oh, I don't know. If he is, hi. I don't know. I don't think he watches any of my shit. I don't think he watches any of my shit. Then again, I don't think anyone watches my shit. I've actually met a lot of people through doing YouTube. It's very funny. Like Sophie, who just got revealed for 49, we met because she watched my YouTube. What else? Oh, like Tyler. I met my friend Tyler through this. My friend Erin Maley, who I met through doing this. Keisha, I was friends with her for a while. We met through this. So it's very interesting when like my people that watch my stuff become friends of mine. Like it's very, very cool to me. Oh, I just had something I wanted to say, but I forgot. I think the season is going to feel like, well, and if he is watching, don't say anything. Like, please don't comment anything. I'll never forget the horrible things those two girls said about you when you were in the box in Beast Games. Can't imagine how satisfied you were outlasting one of them. Well, and the unfortunate thing is, Aaron, that they didn't knock me out of the box at that moment, but because, and it never got aired, but I let me thinking I was losing a friendship make me think that because I lost their friendship, that I lost all of my friendships. So they didn't knock me out in that game. They knocked me out the next game by making me spiral on myself. That would be my biggest problem on Survivor, is that I take things very personally. And it's and I've had so many of my friends in my real life betray me that I could just see someone pulling some shit on me and triggering the fuck out of me. But also, I don't see a situation like the box happening in this, because the box, it was like, okay, one of us has to quit. There's nowhere to hide. Survivor, you could just vote a bitch off and not think twice about it. I think this season is going to be like Big Brother All-Stars when they had the Big Brother 6 cast, 3 members. I think it's a little different because Big Brother 6, there was 4 people on that cast out of 14 that had played together that were in the same alliance. But I do agree with you, Taco Tony, that Joey, Camila, and Kyle all being here together when they were in the same alliance on the same season is a little fishy and a little bit of bullshit. And if you're out there, you should want to take them out. But I need to say this: take Joe out first. Kyle and Camila, everyone knows who they are. They can be dealt with. Take Joe out. People mistake what a threat is in this game. Yes, there's threats to win. Yes, there's threats to betray you. But the biggest threat is someone that's going to take your spot in the final 3. Joe is a lock for final 3 if you don't take him out early, because people are going to trust him. No one's going to be like, okay, let's take him out. There's no reason to. You don't want someone like that in the game. I wish Sydney was on. She's long overdue for a return. The problem is that they haven't had any returning player seasons since Winners at War. This season is like big dogs. This is like people that were on multiple seasons and have established themselves as legends, or people that are one-time players that have a little bit of recency that were so impactful that they're on. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that there's nobody on here from the 20s or even from the teens that played only one time. The only people that are on this cast that have played only one time are either from the 30s, and there's only what, like 4 of them, or from the 40s, the new era. Also, how many new era people are on here? There's Charlie, Dee, Emily, Genevieve, Joe, Camila, Kyle, Q, Rizzo, Savannah, Nicole, or not Nicole, Tiffany. So it's about half. Dylan, have you seen the article where the Survivor 48 cast picks for Survivor 50? Some picks are definitely intriguing. I saw it. I don't really remember who they picked. I saw it though. Joe got manipulated by them. Yeah, so I don't exactly. He didn't need to be here. I wish Nalia was on. Nalia would be interesting to see back, but I need Vesepia back on. They need to do another second chance this season. Do what they did with Game Changers, where they did Game Changers like 2 seasons after. Like, do another. There's quite a few people to pick from now that have not gotten to play in a while or haven't gotten to play again at all. Like, give us a chance to build some legends. This is a good start, but I think there needs to be another all-star game in Survivor 53, 54, something like that. You know what I mean? This is also like a huge point for Survivor season 50. Like, now we're getting up there in the numbers. It's like, oh my God, there's 50 of these goddamn seasons. So Joe to me had a lot of his game like Mike's from 42. Oh, Aaron, you and me are on the same wavelength. He reminded me so much of Mike. Never go into a game and make your whole thing honesty, integrity. You can't be honesty and integrity in this game. At some point, someone needs to be screwed over. And by you saying that you're honesty, integrity, it's honestly more of an insult to other people that you were not willing to work with them. It's like, oh, you didn't want to be honest, integrity with me. That's how I take it. It's like, what the fuck? If anyone in this game starts talking about being the good people, they need to go home. The good people are good pieces of shit, in my opinion. It was the same thing in Beast Games. It was like, oh, we're deserving to be here. We're deserving. Bitch, I don't care that you sacrificed $1 million. I don't give a shit if you sacrificed $1 billion. We are in this same game together. You're no better than me. I'm no better than you. I'm not giving my game up, and you don't deserve to be here more than me just because you have a Bible or because you are loyal or so you say loyal. Like, give me a goddamn break. You know what I mean? Oh, Jesus Lord, my voice. Ugh. Does anyone else have anything they want to add in before I rapidy wrap this up? Because I gotta get ready for Handmaid's Tale. That shit's coming on in a minute. In a minute. I don't know why I started being the fact that somehow a cult leader basically got cast on Beast Games. Okay, here's the thing. Jeremy, if we're going to talk about Beast Games, Jeremy was not a cult leader the whole time. And Jeremy had been in other Beast stuff. The reason that Jeremy became a cult leader was because Jeremy had an alliance behind him with these really strategic weirdos. Like, honestly, now that the thing's been over for a while, I thought his alliance was weird, and I'm kind of disappointed that his alliance produced a winner. But there was a bunch of weirdos there. His cult was not that powerful. It was powerful because people didn't want to do anything. I was so disappointed watching how all those people handed over their tokens to him, because I'm telling you, all of them talked shit about him. Nobody respected him. No one liked him except for his like 5 or 6 people that surrounded him, because they were, fucked up about losing their friends, and they didn't expect the game to be hard because none of them were strategic. So they just gave him everything because they were too pussy to do anything. If I was there, literally 5 minutes after I left was when that game happened. If I was there, I would have rallied for tokens, and no cult leader is happening here. The fuck? You got me all the way fucked up. And now we got Coach, who's probably going to try rallying his own cult. Very odd, very weird. We don't do cults over here. I will say, though, if there is a cult and it looks like you can't beat the cult, put yourself at the top of the cult. Befriend the cult leader and be the leader of the cult. Because going against a cult is a very hard thing to do. If I had to ask anything else, if you could go on Beast Game 2, would you do anything different than the first time, since you seem to be seen as sneaky for some weird reason? If I was to play Beast Games again, if they called me, I'd say, yeah. I'm going to be totally real with y'all. I stopped applying to shows when I was almost on Survivor because I wanted to do Survivor. And I'm afraid doing another show is going to take me out the running. Beast Games gives you a contract, but they don't bind you. Like, I'm not bound to any contract despite doing it like less than a year ago. They only keep you in a contract if you win, or if you win like some big amount of money, like over $1 million. And even then, I don't think they care enough to keep you locked in. If I played Beast Games again, I would do everything exactly the same. The only difference is that I would stop caring. I played Beast Games really fucking well, and it was never shown on the show because there was like over 1,000 of us. If I had gotten the top 50, it probably would have been shown. But I did really well. I literally had relationships with everybody, which was a very difficult thing to do when there was like 500 of us there at a time. I probably knew the most amount of people when I left. Like when there was 100 of us left, I knew the most amount of people at that point. The biggest enemy was myself. I was viewed as untrustworthy, but there was plenty of people there that trusted me. The girl Mia that won the island, I was on her list to be chosen. The next game, the token game, had I stuck around, I would have been chosen. I could have gotten the tokens. The captain game, I was the one that got Tawana to be our captain for the $1 million. My mistake was not rallying for myself. I was told after the fact, why didn't you rally for yourself? And I said, I didn't think anyone would pick me. I was wrong. So if I played again any of these shows, the only thing, I would not change my strategy. I would not play my change my social game. I wouldn't change anything. The only thing I would change is being more confident in my abilities and trusting myself more, and stop thinking that everyone thinks the worst of me. It's honestly probably my biggest flaw in life, is thinking that everyone has the worst opinion of me. I underestimate how much people like me. That's my biggest flaw in life. And it translated and made me lose $10 million. But what I will say is, I'm glad I did Beast Games, even if I never play Beast Games again. And I'm glad that I didn't take the $100,000 bribe so I could play the game, because it taught me that I need to be more confident in myself and I need to trust my skills. So now if I do ever go play Survivor, I know what to do now. And I feel a lot better about what I would do. So that's my answer. I'm sorry that has nothing to do with Survivor 50, but that's my experience doing a competition show, and I wish you guys could have seen it. My proudest moment in life, honestly, is the fact that when we did Beast Games, there was a game where you were put with two of your best friends. These girls were like best friends, but they did not have my best interest in heart. And before we went in, we thought it was a vote. And one of the girls comes up to me and she says to me when the cameras are not recording, "Hey, Dylan, I think the two of us deserve to be here. Let's agree to not vote each other off." I was shocked because this is her best friend. I thought they were going to team up on me. The second we get in the cube and they say it's not a voting game, this is a self-sacrifice game where one of you needs to quit to let the other two advance or you all go home. Immediately, the 5-hour timer starts immediately. They both say, "Dylan, you need to quit." And I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Oh, well, you'll do another show," because I had talked about my experience with Survivor, which was stupid on my part. They said that I was too friendly with everyone, that I was a threat, that they didn't trust me, all this shit. They spent 5 hours basically calling me a piece of shit for not quitting. They tried bringing my family into it. They told me I was a disgrace to my family. They said I was a villain. I didn't give a shit at that point. I put my fucking sunglasses on and said, "All right, guess we're all going home." Because I said the only way I'm leaving is if we do a challenge, because that was an option, was to do a challenge. And if they accept the results, they didn't want to. So I outlasted them. And then there was about maybe 30 minutes left. And I said, and then finally, when they saw I wasn't going to leave, they said, "All right, let's play a game." And the only game they agreed to do was roll dice. And the lowest number goes home. I rolled the highest number, and the girl that lied to me and tried making that deal with me, she got the lowest number and she had to sacrifice. I wanted to cuss them out so bad in that box because they were saying all this shit about me, all this crazy stuff. They were throwing all of my past friendships in my face. They were, saying that I was a bad person. Like I really give a shit. "Oh, you're not saving our friends. Oh my God. Da, 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 da." I'm like, "Y'all are not my friends. I just met you 2 weeks ago." But they tried pressuring me and it did not work. And there's been a lot of times in my life where I've let people pressure me. But I wanted to cuss them out, and I think if I did cuss them out, it would have been on the show. The reason I didn't, and the reason why I just sat there stone-faced, was because I knew that if I antagonized them, they would be less likely to want to play me in a game. I didn't want the mentality to change from, we need one of us to stay, to we need to get Dylan out. The idea was I need them to love each other enough where they're willing to sacrifice, despite the fact that I'm the one they want to go home. Which was a big thing for me, because I can't tell you how badly I wanted to say, you look, shut up with your goblin ass nose. I so badly wanted to, because the disrespect was crazy. And mind you, these were two people I was very friendly with. And, the game is over at this point. I haven't spoken to either of them. I never got an apology from them. I got gaslit into thinking I was wrong. If they ever apologized to me, or, if they ever reached out to me, they still follow me and like all my stuff, I would accept it, because I don't care. It was a game move on their part. At least I think for the girl that lied, I think it was her game move. The other girl, I think she just is really catty. But that was my experience with it. And again, if I went into Survivor, I probably would have a similar take where I'd be strategic on when I fought with people. Nobody's going to respect Coach now. I see Rizzo joining Coach like Brandon Hans. Rizzo's not going to join Coach. Well, actually, I take that back. I could see Rizzo working with Coach. Why? I remember interviewing Rizzo for season 5 of I Love Money. And I asked him, who is someone from a previous season you would want to play with? And he said, I would love to play the game with like a Heather Lee Cameron or a Pam. Now, y'all don't know who that is. I was surprised he even knew who they were. But Heather Lee Cameron and Pam were these two women that were in my game, my org, that were crazy. Pam was fighting with all these people. She, rest in peace, Pam. Pam ended up passing away, actually, a few years ago from cancer. I believe it was cancer. Yeah, I believe it was cancer, but she was like this woman that would come on. She had the oxygen mask, and she would fucking read people. She'd fight with. She's crazy. Go back and watch some of the older seasons of I Love Money. But he wanted to play with her and Heather because he said that he's a more calm person and not chaotic, and working with someone that is pretty chaotic would be a good balance, and people would not recognize it. I also think that Rizzo's a little bit similar to Carson, where Rizzo kind of likes the chaoticness, even though he doesn't look like he would be a chaotic one. But that's the only way I'm going to compare him to Carson, because I'm not a fan of Carson. Carson steals puzzles Cressley. Oh, wait, no, that's not his last. Whatever. Y'all know what I mean. The only show that could stop you to go Survivor is Traitors. Oh, well, I'm not. The Traitors is not calling me. I don't think the trade. Honestly, I think Beast Games, I don't see anyone getting called. And there's some people that need to be on, like my girl Tawana, my final 2 that got all the way to the final 2. Like, she should be on another show for realsies. Akira should be on Survivor at some point. I'm not able to watch it, but Anna sounded good. Anna should be on another show too. I love Anna. Are you gonna cast for Survivor 50? Bitch, that's a question for them. I don't know. Am I gonna apply? Yeah. I'll ask a fun question. In your opinion, what makes a good cast? What makes a good cast is diversity. And when I say diversity, yes, I mean racially. Yes, I mean looks wise. Yes, I mean all that, age. But more so, I mean types of people. I think that if you have a cast like season 44, where on paper it's very diverse, you've got Jam Jam from PR, you've got Carolyn, who's like a drug counselor, you got Carson, who's like years younger than them, you've got a teacher, you've got Dan, like you've got all these really diverse stories that are so different from each other. On paper, they don't look alike. But in reality, all of their personalities, I wouldn't say we're similar, but we're very compatible. The whole cast had pretty good chemistry. They all got along. Because of that, the season was not fun to watch. Let's be honest. We're going to do a little clap test. Clap if your favorite parts of Survivor 44 were parts that did not include Jam Jam or Carolyn. Just clap. Crickets. Yeah, that's because Jam Jam and Carolyn were the only interesting part. And let's be real, the only reason that y'all said that Carson was a good part of that season was because y'all wanted to fuck Carson. That like I'm being honest here. You twinks thought you were gonna trick him out to being a twink himself, and you saw his little Harry Potter fucking abbed ass, and you wanted to fuck him, and that's why you said he was good. He was entertaining. And all reality, he had the personality of a wet blanket. So no, Survivor 44 was not fun to watch because they all got along, and in reality, they were not all that different from each other personality wise. What makes a good cast is when you've got total opposites together. People that would never interact with each other in the real world unless they were put in this situation. And at the same time, if you are going to put two people in, like I think of Valdamian and Janine that were on Rizzo's season of I Love Money. Valdamian and Janine were two older Black women. One was from the Northeast, one was from the South, and they were like really tight at the start of the season. And their personalities were relatively similar, but they ended up becoming worst enemies and having this huge blow up that resulted in their alliance splitting in half. And that was when Rizzo was going to, take over and win the whole thing, but then he got fucked over. But their relationship was interesting because they were very similar, but at the same time, very different. Janine was more of a, whatchamacallit, a loose cannon, whereas Val was more of a like catty type of older woman. But I think what would make a good cast for Survivor, put in a cop and a convict, put in a crackhead and someone that someone that is abstinent from all like drugs and sex and alcohol and shit. Put in a religious nut and an atheist. Like, that's what I mean. Hell, some of you are saying I don't want any MAGAs on this cast. I disagree. Put MAGAs on the cast. I don't need to like someone. Russell Hantz is one of the most unlikable people ever, but he should be on Survivor. Yes, we don't need good people on these shows. I hate to tell you that, but these shows are not about finding role models. It's not about giving someone a platform. Now, there's a difference putting someone in that's like a Nazi or someone that like is abusive or someone that's different. But I don't need to agree with someone's political takes. In fact, it might be better to put someone in that's a dumb as hell MAGA with people that are not going to take that shit and seeing the interaction. That may change more minds at home than seeing Evie be open about her gender identity. Like, seriously, you know what I think of? I think of Bunky and Kent from Big Brother 2. Kent was this religious nut that thought gays were going to hell, and Bunky was as gay as they come. They ended up being the best of friends. Never would have expected it. Survivor 46 reminds me of Gabon. Gabon was fun as fuck, but we need more Gabon seasons. That and being all kumbaya, it's boring to watch. Well, that I think is just the generation we live in. Everyone wants to get by. It's unfortunate because I would love to play the game by calling people out. But the problem is I feel like when I would call people out, people would start saying, "Oh, he's untrustworthy because he causes too much drama." Like, bitch, give me a break. Oh my God. I don't see that with this cast though. I think this is a very fun cast. Well, anyways, I've been talking a fuck ton. But your last thoughts in the chat. My overall thoughts before I wrap this up is this is a good group. I'm going to give each person a toot or a boot. Let's do this. Okay. Angelina, toot. Aubry, boot. Coach, toot. Oh, and by the way, toot is good, boot is bad. Charlie, toot. Chrissy, toot. Christian, toot. Cirie, toot. Colby, toot. Dee, I give that a toot. Emily is a toot. Let me just rapid fire. Genevieve, Jenna are all toots. Joe, that's a fucking big ass bottom of the barrel boot. Get the fuck out of here. Jonathan, begrudgingly, is a toot. Camila is. I give Camila a boot. I'm sorry, I'm giving it a boot. Kyle, you getting a boot too. Mike White, toot. Ozzy, boot. Q, that's a toot. Rick Devens, for me, it's a boot, but I understand it's a toot, I guess. Rizzo, that's a toot. Savannah, I don't know you, so I'm booting your ass. Stephenie, toot. Tiffany, that's a toot. That's my take. Jonathan and Joe have to be the first two boots. I'm sorry to break it to you. They're not going home first. Let me tell you, if I had to guess a first boot off of this cast, I think the first boot is either going to be Rick Devens, Chrissy. I think Rick Devens or Chrissy. I think it's going to be one of them that goes home first. Merge boot is probably going to be either Joe, Jonathan, or Ozzy. Winner, if I had to say the winner right now, it's hard because I don't know how they're going to play. I'm going to throw a wild card, and I'm going to say Stephenie LaGrossa is going to win this whole thing. She's not my first choice to win, but I'm feeling something about it. I'm feeling something about Stephenie. My pick is Genevieve. My pick is not Genevieve. Here's the thing with Genevieve. Genevieve got way too much in her feelings about voting off her friends, and that's what screwed her over. Y'all, another thing Beast Games taught me, you need to be an asshole in these games if you want to win. You need to not give a fuck. You need to look at things purely, bring your emotions into the game, but follow your gut and your logic. If your gut and your logic is telling you that you need to vote Kyle off, then you need to do it. Camila, her problem was not following her gut. Her gut told her that Kyle needed to go home at top 5. If Kyle went home at top 5 and she exposed him, top 4, I think that who would have won that shot? I think maybe Joe would have won that challenge. There's a shot that she beats Mitch in the final 3. There is. I mean, in the final 4 fire making, there is a shot. So I don't know. And then what else is there to say? Who's going to be the standout of this season? Okay, the standout. I'm going to say the standout right now is going to be, I think Jenna Lewis is going to bring something. Jenna Lewis and Q. Who's going to be robbed? Cirie. Somehow Cirie's going to be robbed. The biggest surprise? I think Rizzo is going to surprise the fuck out of all y'all. Eliminate Mitch in top 5. Well, apparently Mitch was going to win the whole fucking game. So it was not a bad move, Leonardo. I mean, for us, it looked like a bad move, but apparently he was going to get all the jury votes. So, who's someone that deserves to be here that is not here? I would say top 5 deserve to be here, not here. I would say Pastor Shan should be here. Jerry Manthe should be here. Rupert should be here. Rupert is like big a fan favorite. And Rupert to me is annoying, but he's funny as shit. Who else should be here? I want to say Todd Herzog, but no. No, I'm not going to say Todd. Vecepia Towery should be here. And Earl Cole should be here. Okay, let's look at this list. If this is the actual cast, I agree with Shan. I agree with Say. I don't agree with Ricard. I think Ricard is way overrated. Carolyn should be here. Jesse should be here because of his moves, but I'm going to be real. Jesse is boring. I don't need to see Jesse again. I'm not a fan of him or his gameplay. Like, he's a good player, but he's like one of those people. I'm not a fan of the way he plays. If I ever played with Jesse, his ass is going home first. And Ricard, I don't need Ricard. I felt like Ricard, look up the stuff that Ricard did behind the scenes. Look up the interviews. Ricard it sounded like Ricard incited a race war in that season. Like, he was throwing out accusations that people were racist, but he was using it to his benefits to take out Shan. Like, it was very, like, I don't like when people bring that stuff into these games, you know? Especially when you yourself, like, to me, that gives, like, Michael, what was his name? Michael Yerner? No, from Big Brother, Michael and Brittany. That's what it gives me, is like Michael and Brittany. So I'm not a fan of Ricard. I like your list a little better, Leonardo. Jesse and Carolyn, I agree. Cody, I don't need Cody. I thought Cody was boring as fuck. Rob Sesternino, absolutely, and Jerry Manthe. I've heard that Rob declined. I think of everybody, Rob Sesternino is the most deserving to be on. Not necessarily because of how he played. He still was a good player, but Rob Sesternino single-handedly has kept the Survivor fan base alive. I don't think the Survivor fan base would be as big or as, like, growing if he wasn't there doing his little podcasts, you know, nerding people out. And at this point, there's a lot of people that got into Survivor because of Rob as a podcast and have openly mentioned it. The only thing is that Rob would be a huge threat and probably be targeted because of all the relationship. Like, he literally has met every single Survivor, pretty much. Malcolm and Abby, thank you. I forgot about them. I agree. Malcolm and Abby are perfect people to represent the 20s. Like, we have no 20s representation besides, like, Coach, who returned in the 20 season. Like, we needed someone from that era too. In my opinion, that was like the Renaissance of Survivor, like one of the best eras. They would have been great. And I know both of them want to play, but I think that we'll get to see them again at some point. Another one that's not on this list, Philip Shepard. Where is Philip Shepard? I know Philip Shepard is not too old to play Survivor. I'm going to be pissed if I hear Philip Shepard got cut from the cast. Philip is funny as shit. Go watch the first Redemption Island Tribal Council. He is so... Jeff, I was a former special agent. When I say something, I will not betray. So my vote tonight is for Francesca. Because she has she has an immunity idol. All right, Jeff, I'm done with it. Nothing? You have nothing else to contribute? I'm done with it. He is just so funny to me. Like, and he's a better player than people give him credit for. I think that his strategy was to be as obnoxious as possible so Boston Rob would carry him because no one was going to take him out. I love Philip Shepard. You know, you saying that about Ricard reminds me of Tyler using BLM in Some Stars too. Yes, it was exactly like that. It was exactly like that, where he rallied them together using that as the basis. And this is not my words. This is Shan. Go watch the interviews that Shan did. Like, those two are not cool. They're not on speaking terms as far as I know. There's the only good part about this is that about this cast is that there are still a lot of people that need to be back, that they can do another like all-star legendary season without pulling any of these people, and they're gonna have a pretty good cast on their hands, I think, at least. Ooh. Oh God, 10 o'clock already. I will say I'm going to be covering this season, season 49 and season 50. I'm gonna have to cover it. I'm gonna have to. I have no choice. Survivor has held me captive. I have no. They're holding me for ransom. I have no choice. So I will be here to cover it. I will also. Here's the deal I'm going to make with you guys. If the season 50 cast turns out to be different than these 24 people, I will be back on Wednesday to talk about it. Probably in the afternoon, because I'm going to be hella busy on Wednesday. If it turns out to be the same, I'm probably just going to, leave it as it is. There's really nothing else to talk about. But I'm so excited for all of y'all out there. If any of you are watching, just play your heart out, please. Rizzo, if you're watching and you're actually going on, fucking win. Just win. Don't leave anything on the door. Don't be afraid to fuck these bitches over. You need to take this fucking W home. All right? Okay? And that's it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been almost 2.5 hours. If you enjoyed this video or this live stream rather, give me a like. Why not? A follow even. How about a comment too to keep the engagement going so the algorithm likes me? That's a novel idea. Check out my recap for the season 48 finale. Stay tuned for more I Love Money and online reality gaming content. I'm also producing an animated show, Snack Time. The cold open is now out. If you want to watch it, it's really cool. What else is going on? If you have any questions, you can go to my page at Slightly Bitta. I have literally everything on Slightly Bitta, like my Instagram, my TikTok, everything. If you have any questions about my experience on Beast Games or about Survivor or about anything, like feel free. If you want audition tape advice, hit me up. Unless you will be fighting for the same spot as me, then don't hit me up. I'm not going to help you. Just kidding. And let me know if there's anything else you want to do. Is there anyone that you think I should bring on to do a podcast with? I have loads of friends in the reality TV world. I'm still good friends with Miss Felicia from Big Brother, Sheila from Big Brother, Missy from Survivor. I'm not going to ask any of my Survivor 49 friends because they're under contract. At least I think they are. I haven't asked them. Any Beast Games people I could bring on, or I can go out of the woodwork and find people that have been on Survivor. I'm sure that they're thirsty to get their hands on something. Who am I rooting for? Connor McCann. Well, I said this earlier. Who am I rooting for? I didn't think I said that. I'm rooting for Rizzo. I'm sorry, but like that's my friend. I'm gonna root for Rizzo to win. I want him to win this whole thing. If he doesn't win, I want Cirie to finally get a win. I want her to win, and I want that to be the end of her story. If not her, I would say Dee would be a good winner. Stephenie LaGrossa, Q would be a fun win. But I'm rooting for Rizzo. That's my number one. Like, duh, go win. I'm telling y'all, like we talked about like auditioning for the show like years ago, and I know how much he loves the show. This is a big fan of the game. Like, go win. Do what other orgers literally cannot do and like take home a fucking victory. It's great. Yeah. Bring Rob Sesternino. Rob Sesternino ain't talking to my ass. He didn't even put me on his own podcast. He's not coming on my little podcast. Please. And I think that's it. Anyways, thank y'all so much. And again, subscribe, follow, like, and until next time, stay followed, stay tuned, but most importantly, stay bitter. Peace out, y'all. I'm gonna go sleep. Good night.